Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing great and fantastic. Dean Kulaweera here, and every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone, I'm right here to help you folks out with job search tips, advice, and strategies. All right, so any questions you have about job search related or recruitment related, feel free to drop them in the comments. Make sure you mark your calendars. All right, every week I'm here on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. My way of giving back and responding to any of your job search challenges, or if you're on a hiring team, any of your recruitment challenges as well. Because I get a lot of messages and stuff, and I'm not always able to respond to everyone's inquiries and requests for advice and tips and all that stuff. So I try to do these every week, folks, so I can help you folks out. All right, and at least I'm able to in some way or fashion. So don't be shy. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're tuning in from. Make friends with each other, network with each other. Hey, you might find your next I don't know, next best friend in the comments there, right? If you folks keep interacting with each other. So make sure you do that. And let's see here. We got Charlotte Brabello in the house. Charlotte, good to have you here again. I believe you tuned in last week as well. So thanks so much for tuning in again. We got Shamar in the house as well. Hello, Shamar. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate having you here. We got Fela in the house. Hey, Fela, it's been a while. I think you used to tune in a couple of months back, if I'm not mistaken. I remember your name. So thanks so much for tuning in, Fela. Good to see you here. We got Vaishnavi in the house. Hi, Vaishnavi. Thanks so much for tuning in as well. And we got Ezra tuning in. Hi, Ezra. Thanks so much for tuning in. We got Sharifa. Thanks. Hi to you as well. Actually, she says hi. I'm is it Bokra or Botra? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But good to have you here. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we got Nirav in the house as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wow, we got a lot of comments coming through. I got to keep up with the comments. We also got Kinjal in the house as well. Thanks for tuning in, Kinjal. So, folks, keep the comments coming in, and definitely make sure you put any questions you have, whatever your situation is, right? If you're a job seeker, I was a little busy yesterday and today, so I didn't have the opportunity to prepare a specific topic. So my apologies for that. So today it's just going to be an open mic, open Q&A. Maybe not an open mic, but an open Q&A. So any questions you have, any struggles you're facing in your job search, right? Maybe you're applying for jobs, you're not getting responses. Maybe you need resume tips and advice. Maybe interview tips and advice. How do you prepare for the interview? How do you respond to certain questions? There's certain questions they're asking that you're getting stuck at. You need help with recruiters. Maybe you don't know how to interact with recruiters, or maybe you're having conversations with recruiters. They're saying certain things. You don't know how to respond to it, or you're getting ghosted by recruiters. Whatever the situation, folks, anything goes. Feel free to drop it in the comments. Obviously, you can see this is not scripted, so I'm just freestyling here. So any questions you have, whatever your challenges are, whatever your struggles are in your job search, don't be shy. Drop it in the comments, and I'm gonna get to your your inquiries shortly. Just a few things before we get started. If you're an IT professional in Toronto, make sure you definitely send me a what's it called, email or message or direct message, or send me an email. Now, if you're sending me a connection request, just keep in mind I recently reached the limit of connections here on LinkedIn. I'm at 30,000 connections. So if you don't see me accept your connection request, don't think, oh, Dean's not, he's not accepting my request. He doesn't want to be connected. No, nothing like that, folks. All right. It's just that I've reached the limit of LinkedIn connections, so I can't accept everyone's connections anymore. All right. And even if I do, it means that I have to disconnect with with other people in order to accept new connections, right? So be patient. Everyone's connection request is kind of in a waiting queue, or whatever you call it right now. So just be patient. I will get around to your connection request if that's the case. But send me a message instead, or send me an email. All right. My email and all that stuff is on my LinkedIn profile. So make sure you check out my LinkedIn profile, and just keep that in mind. And if you're an IT professional, so right now I'm recruiting on a couple of senior level developer positions, software development positions. So make sure, if you're a senior developer, make sure you definitely reach out to me. You do have to be here in Canada. All right. Unfortunately, if you're overseas at the moment, I can't assist you with sponsorship or anything like that. So again, reach out to me. But even if you're not a developer, whatever your field is in tech, definitely reach out to me. Let me know a bit more about yourself, and hopefully I'm able to assist you in some respect, to connect you with opportunities with my clients. All right. So the other thing is, I'm also active on other social platforms. So if you want to follow me on, for example, obviously I'm streaming this on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. But I'm also active on Instagram, TikTok. Also have a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So all those links are at my Linktree page. So check out linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. All right, check that out for all my social links. Also on this page, you'll also see the link to my LinkedIn newsletter. So I release a LinkedIn newsletter every week, typically on Mondays, where I talk about job search and recruitment related topics. So if you're someone in HR, or someone involved in recruitment, or someone involved in hiring at your organization, in my newsletter, I cover a recruitment related topic, right? For those of you on that side of the table. And I also cover a job search related topic for the job seekers out there. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. And also, again, if you're an organization, you're looking for tech talent, or if you're an IT professional here in Canada, or especially here in the Toronto area, make sure you reach out to me for more information on how I can assist you, or send me an email at dean@techrecruiters360.com, which is my recruitment business. So again, if you're an IT professional, or you're an organization searching for tech talent, definitely reach out to me for more information on how I can personally help. Now, with that being said, one more thing. What was I going to do? There was one more thing I want to talk to you guys about. Oh, yes, that's right. Upcoming speaking event, folks. Upcoming speaking event. I'm so excited about this. I was recently invited by the PMI Lakeshore Ontario chapter for their Careers Day, which is taking place in September. It is on September 17th. And I'm so excited to be one of the keynote speakers here. And I will be actually opening the event. I'll be the first speaker speaking. So I believe I'm going to be starting at around like 10:15 or something like that. So if you're going to be attending, I look forward to seeing you there. Look forward to being there, and very, very excited, because I'm going to be talking about such an exciting topic, folks. I'm going to be sharing tips on how you can handle your conversations with recruiters. I'm so excited. I'm trying to stop myself from even blushing right now, because I'm so excited, because I'm already planning out my talk, and it's going to be just information packed. It's going to be about 45 minutes. Like my topic is going to be 45 minutes, and I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be sharing tips with you folks about how to manage your conversations with recruiters. How do you deal with certain, setbacks and objections, and how to respond to certain things that recruiters say, how to take control of the conversation. I mean, if you've ever heard me speak before, Dean goes a little crazy, right? I'm going to pack it with so much stuff, and you folks are going to get so much information out of it. So if you're attending, I'm really excited for you. I look forward to seeing you there. Again, it's on September 17th, and it's with the PMI Lakeshore Ontario chapter. So I'm really excited about that. Shout out to PMI LOC for inviting me. It's a really exciting opportunity. I look forward to seeing you folks there. Right. So with that being said, let's get into your questions, folks. All right. So start putting your questions in the comments, and I'm going to get to your questions shortly. Make sure you hit like, comment, and share. Make sure you share this live stream with anyone else in your network who might be actively job seeking and who might need assistance with their job search. Right. So that being said, let's get into the questions. Let's see here. We got a few more shout outs here. We got Subhajit in the house. Shout out to you as well. Subhajit, thanks so much for tuning in. We got Ade in the house, who says, hi guys. Hey Ade, thanks so much for tuning in. Good to have you here. We got someone who says, I'm in Winnipeg and looking for project management roles as I just moved to Canada. Awesome. Look, I'm not recruiting on any PM roles right now, but unfortunately it's not showing your name here. But whoever you are, feel free to send me an introductory message. I'll do my best to get around to your message, and I'll see if there's any way I can assist you. Right. So send me that direct message, and I'll see if I might be able to assist you. Maybe not right now, because I'm not recruiting on anything PM related right now, but I'm always working on new roles, folks. All right. We got Honest Raj Nagendran in the house. Hi, DK. Hey, Honest Raj. Thanks so much for tuning in. Okay, so we got Jacob in the house. So shout out to Jacob. Thanks so much for your question. So Jacob says, "Hey, I have no prior work experience in web development. However, I've created a compelling portfolio. How would you recommend I structure my CV? I just want people to look at my portfolio, not my prior work experience." Yeah. So Jacob, if that's your situation, so whatever I'm assuming your prior field has no relation whatsoever to web development, right? I'm gonna make that assumption. But if that's not the case, if it is kind of in tech or IT, you still want to mention your previous field in a bit more detail on your resume, and maybe see if you can make some connections with development and the dev side of things. But if not, yeah, you absolutely want to highlight your portfolio. So by the way, kudos to you for putting a focus on creating your own portfolio. This is something I see so many people not do. Like, you got to create your own portfolio, folks. Especially important if you're an entry level person, or if you're someone like Jacob who is transitioning into a new field. So great job on that, Jacob. You want to definitely highlight that on your resume. Now, the other thing is you want to make sure that now I'm not sure if this is the case with you, Jacob, but if you've taken any courses, certifications, boot camps, training, something of that sort, you want to highlight that on your resume as well, because it's showing employers or potential employers or recruiters that you have undergone certain training, right? Certain training, certifications, courses, boot camps, whatsoever. That will also help emphasize the fact that, hey, this person Jacob appears to be very much committed to this field because they've taken boot camps, they've taken training, certifications, etc. Chances are they probably know their stuff. And in addition to that, they've built their own portfolio. So you want to again mention that portfolio. Drop a link in your resume or your CV, Jacob. And if you're active on LinkedIn, if you're active on social media, you want to post that link as well, so people can check out what you've done and get a sampling of the type of work you bring to the table. Because even if you folks, and this is not just for you, Jacob, for the rest of you out there, some of you folks, what you're doing is, you take a certification, you take a course, you take a boot camp, you mention on your resume or you post about it on LinkedIn, and you're like, yeah, I just got this certification, I got this I completed this boot camp, which is great. That's good. It's good you completed that. But look, the concern many hiring teams have, right? And this is based on my current conversations with hiring teams over the years. The main concern they have is, look, does this person really know their stuff? Can they really apply what they've learned? Or did they just, memorize a whole bunch of stuff and they got A plus on all their tests and exams and stuff like that? So you had to show practical ability. So that's why I'm saying it's so great that you have actually built out a portfolio, Jacob, because that communicates to the recruiter, to the hiring manager, to the hiring team that you have the ability to apply what you've learned. You have practical ability, and that's what really organizations want to know, right? So hope that helps, Jacob. Great question there. All the best to you. Vaishnavi says, is there any job opening for functional testing in Toronto? Yes, there is. There are plenty of functional testing roles in Toronto. Although I would say, based on my observations, there's definitely a higher demand for automation testers, more so on the automation side. At least that's been my observation. So to answer your question, short answer, yes. So this person says, are you recruiting for? Okay, so this is the same person from before. So yeah, I think I already answered your question. I'm not recruiting on anything remote at the moment for project management in Winnipeg, which is where I believe you are based out of. Let's see here. We got any more questions here? We got Sharifa. Sharifa says, so I'm 21, pursuing, I think you meant pursuing your master's in cybersecurity in Turkey. I am a junior IT support as well, so I was thinking to relocate to Canada in maximum 2 years. Any good tips for me, sir? Well, you don't have to call me sir, Sharifa. Just call me Dean. It's fine. But look, that's great. That sounds exciting. You wanna relocate to Canada? I mean, look, Canada is always looking to absorb great talent, right? Now, advice to you before you land here in Canada, Sharifa: accumulate experience over there in Turkey, right? Like, I'm not sure whereabouts in Turkey you are, but wherever you are, get that tech experience, get that experience working in tech. Now, some people will tell you, oh, if you're going to move to Canada, none of your IT experience in Turkey is going to, it's not going to count. You need to have Canadian experience. I mean, look, maybe there are some dumb organizations out there that have that policy in place, by the way, which is not even legal, by the way. But for the most part, there are many organizations, Sharifa, here in Toronto and or anywhere in Canada for that matter, that will certainly look at your previous experience. So get as much experience as you can while you're in Turkey until you figure out how to relocate to Canada. Make sure you generate as much experience as you can at a great reputable, well, preferably a great known, well known, reputable company based in Turkey, and just start working there, start getting that tech experience. And then by the time you come here, you're going to have strong experience in IT support, right? You're going to have a strong experience, strong knowledge. Maybe you've been involved in a couple of projects, whatever the case is. Second piece of advice, Sharifa, you want to start building your network, right? I give this advice to everyone, anyone who's outside of Canada right now looking to relocate. Build your network before you need your network. Okay, if you're taking notes, write that down. Build your network before you need your network. This applies to actually, you know what? That applies to anyone. Doesn't matter if you're outside of Canada, in Canada, doesn't matter. A lot of you folks, what you're doing is you're building your network when you need help in your job search, right? Which makes sense. Like I totally get that. But if you want to think strategically, if you want to think smart, you want to build your network before you need your network. So for you, Sharifa, start networking with people here in Canada, right? And now when I say networking with people here in Canada, that your approach should not be, hey, my name is Sharifa, I'm going to be immigrating to Canada in about in 2 years or something, so I need help finding a job. No, that's not the right approach. People get those messages all the time over here, so they're going to be less open to connecting with you, Sharifa. Instead, you want to connect on tech related stuff, maybe tech related stuff, maybe career related stuff, something like that. Like connect with people based on stuff related to your field. So make those connections, build those connections, make friends. Look at it like making friends, right? I mean, if you're at a social gathering or at a party, think about it that way, folks, right? I mean, if you're at a social gathering or at a party, you're not going to go in and be like, hey, everyone, my name's Dean. I'm on the market for new job opportunities. Somebody help me out. Like, that's not you're going to be your approach, right? You're going to enter the social gathering. You're going to be like, hey, how's it going? My name's Dean. Oh, how do you know so-and-so? Oh, that's great. I know them because of blah, blah, blah. And hey, wow, this is such a nice house or a nice venue. Look, which of the food items do you really like, right? You folks get my idea. Like you talk about things that you might have in common in the same environment or the same field, the same, like you got to treat it like it's a social gathering, right? Now exception is if you're approaching recruiters. If you're approaching recruiters, the small talk is not going to work, folks. Okay, small talk with recruiters is not going to work. You want to get straight to the point. So with recruiter Sharifa, if you want to network with recruiters and build your network of recruiters, then just be very transparent with the recruiters and be like, look, I'm not in Canada right now, but I'm planning to be moving there within the next 2 years. And when I do, I'm going to have a whole bunch of tech experience under my belt, and I'm confident that I will be an asset to your clients or to hiring teams that you work for. So let's connect, let's keep in touch, and I'll let you know after I've arrived in Canada, right? That would be the approach you take with recruiters, all right? So Sharif, I hope that helps. All the best to you in your career, and I will connect with you and see you in 2 years after you land in Canada, all right? All the best, my friend. So we got Charlotte Charlotte says, is 30,000 connections a limit in LinkedIn? I wasn't aware of that piece. Good to know. Yeah, Charlotte, at least right now, 30,000 connections is the limit. So unfortunately, I can't connect with any more people. When I try to accept connections at this point, it says you have reached your connection limit. You cannot connect. So unfortunately, a lot of viewers who have sent me connection requests, you're kind of in the waiting queue or whatever. So what I occasionally do when I have time is I go through and see if there's any connections where it doesn't make sense for me to be in have them in my network anymore. I remove them, and then I accept one more. It's that kind of thing. Kind of a tedious thing, but hey, that's what LinkedIn has in place. Yeah, that is the connection limit on LinkedIn. So we got, let's see here, more questions. So we got Shama who says, I'm a product designer. I have not been able to get any entry level or internship positions. There are so many people also applying with good portfolios. How can I stand out and get a job? I'm a product designer looking for an internship position. Thank you for your time. Okay, so Shama, this is a common frustration, right? So first of all, don't feel bad if you're experiencing this. Not only people looking for internships, but look, I've heard this frustration from people who have, like, junior level experience, intermediate level experience, even senior level experience. Look, the fact is, folks, you're competing against many other people applying for the same jobs, right? Now in your case, Shema, you're looking for an internship. My suggestion is you want to make use of first of all, make use of networking, right? I want you networking aggressively with people in your industry. Now when I say with people in your industry, I mean, like, not just fellow product designers, but people higher up the so-called, higher up the so-called ladder at organizations, right? Managers, directors, vice presidents, even C-level executives. You want to be networking with these people and finding out more about opportunities within their organizations, right? And letting them know what you can potentially offer. This also means be more involved in maybe industry related events, right? So if they've got like events going on related to product design, and of course, make sure it falls within your budget, because not all of these events are free. So take your finances into consideration as well. So don't spend anything crazy, or that doesn't make sense. I'm not saying that, but attend these events, because this is a great way for you to connect with other people, again, in your field, in your industry, and you can make friends. And you know what, they might want to refer you for potential internship or entry level positions at their companies, right? Because they get to see you, they get to meet you. They're like, oh, okay, so Shema seems like a cool person. She knows her stuff, and they met you, they know you, they feel comfortable presenting you, or connecting you, or referring you to other people in their organization. Like, you got to kind of build that relationship, folks, right? And this goes to all of you out there. Some of you folks, what you're doing is you're connecting with people, and right away you're asking for referrals. But you got to understand, the person giving the referral has to feel confident and comfortable with you, because when someone refers someone to a position at their company, remember, they're putting their own reputation online, their own credibility, their own reputation. And everyone has experienced at some point or the other referring someone, and that referral ended up giving a bad impression, and then they themselves look bad, right? So don't get upset, folks, if people that you're asking referrals from are not helping you out. It's not because they don't want to help you, it's just that they're not at that point where they can trust you, and you haven't built that relationship with them. So again, Shamar, I kind of went on a tangent there, but you want to focus on networking efforts. You want to focus on making sure you're present at industry-related events, preferably in-person events, Shamar. I find that those are very effective for building that personal connection. And the other thing is, you want to make direct contact with potential hiring managers and people that are in the companies that you want to do the internship for, or that you want to work for, and see if you can connect with them through that avenue as well, right? So hope that helps, Shamar. Great question. Let's see here. So Tariq says, hi, guys. I'm looking for a new contract opportunities in QA, Canadian experience with 15 plus years in QA with user acceptance testing. Okay, awesome. I don't have anything for you right now, Tariq, but let's definitely keep in touch. I'm not sure if we're connected, but send me a message and just let me know a bit more about yourself and your background. I'm happy to see if there's any way I can assist you. So we got Safian in the house, who says, I'm located in Little Rock, Arkansas, U.S. based. Currently in the job market for remote Scrum Master opportunities. Awesome. So I don't have anything remote for you right now, Safian. But hey, if anyone else watching might be interested in connecting with Safian, make sure you do so. All right. Hope you get what you're looking for ASAP, Safian. We got Honest Raj, who says, DK, I'm looking for an AWS developer role, but most of the opportunities is for AWS DevOps engineer and not for developer. Any leads will be highly appreciated. Yeah, I don't have anything for you right now, Honest. To be honest, I don't have anything for you right now, but thanks so much for tuning in. Samia says, hi, I'm looking for QA opportunities and having work experience of 5 years, and I do have a career gap of 3.5 years. But in meanwhile, I started applying for jobs, but I'm not getting any calls. Okay, so Samia, you're definitely in a challenging situation, right? Because your situation is, you have 5 years of work experience, obviously, as a QA, right? Which is great, but you have a 3.5 year gap. So for the past 3.5 years, you have not been working in QA. You've been off the market for whatever reason, which happens, right? But the reality is, and the reason why you're experiencing challenges right now, Samia, is because you're competing against people who have actively been working, right? Maybe they don't have a 3.5 year career gap. Now, the problem is not that you have a 3.5 year career gap. The problem and the challenge or the concern, actually, the concern that most hiring teams have is, how current is your knowledge and your skill set and your abilities? Like, would you be able to get right on board and start working on QA related stuff ASAP, or do you need training or or some kind of a ramp up period, right? That is the concern that hiring teams will have. They won't express this to you, right? They're not going to express this to you, but that is the underlying concern. And I know this, again, from all of my conversations with hiring managers over the years as a recruiter. So what you got to do, Samia, is, if you haven't done so already, you want to show that maybe you've got some side projects as a QA that you've been working on. Maybe you've taken some training, some certifications, or some boot camps to make sure you're up to speed with things going on in QA. Like, you got to show that you're not entirely disconnected from QA. You got to be able to communicate to them that you would be able to get on board and be able to ramp up and get the work done with as minimal lag time as possible, or as minimal ramp up period as required. Because again, the reality is, Samia, I'm not trying to discourage you or anything here, but the reality is you're competing against people who are either currently already working, or who have recent work experience as QAs. So the challenge you're faced with is you got to show these people, you got to show recruiters, you got to show hiring managers that although you have been off the market for 3.5 years, you're still very capable of getting up to speed on the job. And the other piece of advice I have for you, Samia, is actually, although I did mention recruiters, you want to focus your networking efforts, you want to focus your outreach to be directly with hiring managers. Recruiters, for the most part, I mean, they're going to be looking for people with recent, current experience. So if you're networking mostly with recruiters, I'm just being very frank here. Most recruiters are not going to be able to assist you, especially external recruiters such as myself, right? Because in my case, in my situation, like I'd probably be able to assist you, Samia, after you've started working again, and after you've accumulated at least, or at least after you've been working for at least 1 year in a new role. Because external recruiters, we charge our clients an additional fee on top of what they pay you, right? So because of that, our clients expect us to find people who are recent, current, who are um, basically who have that recent current experience. So it would be much more difficult for me as an external recruiter, for example, to present you to my clients. Like my clients expect me to present people who have current recent work experience. And I'm just being real here with you folks, and just letting you know what the situation is. So Soumya, focus your networking efforts directly with potential hiring managers. You're gonna at least be able to have those conversations and discussions with them, and be able to explain to them your situation and the fact that you can still get up to speed on the job. So all the best to you, Samia. Keep in touch, and definitely, and like I'm not sure if you're here in Canada, but if you are, keep in touch. And when you're back to working, and after you've been working for at least a year, that's when I would be in a better position to assist you. Right. So all the best, Samia, and keep in touch. Let's see here. We got we got Jonathan Gendron in the house. So hopefully I pronounced your last name correctly, Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan. Thanks so much for tuning in. So Jonathan says, just graduated with honors from computer systems technician course. What IT positions would be a good starting point? Okay, so I'm not sure what was exactly covered in in the course that you did, Jonathan. Sounds like it might be more of like an IT technician, IT help desks, service desk type. Like that's what I'm assuming here, because you haven't shared any further details about what you learned in your course. But I would say, Jonathan, go for IT technician roles, maybe hardware technician roles, probably help desk, service desk types of positions. Those would probably be good starting points for you. And there's many companies out there typically that are very open to new grad. Like sounds like you're a new graduate, Jonathan, or maybe you're transitioning from another career or field. Many companies that have entry level positions where they're more than open to considering someone, for those types of roles, right? So I would say IT technician, maybe IT hardware technician roles, IT help desk, IT service desk roles. Like those are those are the positions that you want to be focusing on. All right. So all the best to you, Jonathan, and hope that helps. Shirup says, "Are you hiring for junior data engineering roles in Toronto?" Not at the moment, Shirup. You're actually a few weeks late. I was recruiting on a data engineering role a couple of weeks back, but fear not. I'm always recruiting on something new. So stay in touch. And send me a message. Let me know a bit more about yourself, and I'll definitely keep in touch and be sure to see if I can help you in with future opportunities. All right. So thanks so much for tuning in, Shurop, and all the best to you. We got another question here. I believe this is a question. So we got Gurinder. Gurinder says, "Hi, I have a prior experience in operations and maintenance management in telecommunications. Moved to Canada recently. Please suggest what I need to do to crack a job interview in project management or operations lead or manager. Should I consider doing a certification first to be eligible in Canadian work jobs? Please suggest. Thanks in advance." Okay, my number one advice for you, Gurinder, is like I noticed you mentioned a couple of different positions. You said project manager or operations lead or manager. Well, my first thing is like you first got to get clear on what it is you're aiming for, right? Because if you're presenting yourself as someone who's open to multiple types of positions, like for example, you mentioned project management, operations lead, or manager. Well, first of all, manager, what kind of manager, right? Well, I mean, there's so many different types of managers. What type of manager are you talking about? Are you talking about a project management kind of manager, like a manager who manages the project management function at an office? Or are you talking about a manager of operations? Like it's confusing, right? So first of all, Select. I always suggest it to people. Get really clear, folks, on what you're aiming for. Spreading yourself too thin is not gonna. It's not gonna help you. It's not gonna be effective. I understand for you folks from your perspective, you're trying to communicate flexibility, right? You're trying to say that you're flexible, you're multifaceted, you bring a lot to the table. From your perspective, I get that. But from my perspective as a recruiter, this makes me less confident in presenting you for a position because it seems like you're considering multiple different career paths, right? And the reason why this is a concern for me as a recruiter, and not just myself, folks, this goes for many recruiters out there, and they're not going to tell you this because they don't want to offend you, right? But I'm here to help you folks out every Wednesday, 11 a.m. I'm here to help you folks out, and I keep it real. But if you're mentioning too many different types of positions, what I'm thinking as a recruiter is, hey, okay, what if I present this person for the project management role I'm recruiting on, and they go through the process, maybe they even get hired, and they start working for my client. What if later on, their actual passion was for operations, like an operations lead position, and they quit my client and they leave. They're like, oh, I'm actually more interested in operations lead position, so I'm going to work for an operations lead type of a role. Then what happens? I mean, my client, who is the hiring team, the hiring manager, I mean, they feel like they got duped. They look at me and they're like, Dean, didn't you ensure that this was what they wanted to do, and blah blah blah. It basically makes me look bad as well, right? So that is the underlying unspoken hidden concern recruiters have when you folks present yourself as having multiple areas of interest. So my first piece of advice to you, Garinda, and by the way, I'm not picking on you. I mean, this is a common thing so many people do. So this goes to all of you out there, the rest of you out there that are tuning in. Still applies to the rest of you as well. Choose a specific field that you're trying to get into. Now, there are some exceptions. There are some blended roles out there that do make sense. For example, PM slash Scrum, maybe Scrum Master, PM slash BA, QA slash BA. Like, I've seen those blended roles that do make sense. But outside of that, folks, you got to be really laser targeted on what position you are aiming for. And that's what you want to communicate to recruiters as well as to hiring managers out there. So based on that, Gurinder, you're going to figure out which certifications you got to take, which trainings or boot camps that you should be taking out there, right? So I want you focused, folks. All of you folks need to look. If you're not sure what path you want to take, then you got to take a pause on your job search. Do your research, right? Research all of these different fields you're interested in and figure out, hey, which one do I want to do? Which one do I want to commit to and 100% focus my job search efforts on? That's the first thing you folks got to do before you even start job searching. Because if you're saying, oh, I want to be a software developer or a data analyst, or I'm open to, a process improvement specialist role. Plus, I can also do, blah blah. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff, folks. Okay, like it's not a buffet. It's not a buffet, folks. Okay, the buffets are for the buffets. Like, you gotta focus on one specific role or career path that you wanna target and hone in on, and that's gonna make you come across as extremely confident as well. Clarity leads to confidence, right? If I'm only looking for software developer roles. I'm a software developer. I'm looking for software development roles, and you communicate that to recruiters and hiring managers, and they're going to be like, okay, this person knows what they want, right? At least that aspect is handled. The next aspect, of course, is your skills, your knowledge, your expertise, your capabilities. That's a different story. But first and foremost, you got to get clear on what you want, what you're looking for, which direction you want to take. You can always change the direction later on, but my point is, as a job seeker, as you're commencing your job search, as you're moving through in your job search, get really clear about what angle, what career path you want to take, folks. Right. So that's my advice, and hope that helps, Gurinder. That's my major piece of advice. Look here. So we got. So Sharifa said, I lost my internet. Hope the live is safe somewhere so I can take a look. Yeah, Sharifa. So you can watch the replay. I did respond to your questions, so you can watch the replay either here on LinkedIn after it's done, or also this is also streamed live on YouTube and Twitter. So I know YouTube is probably the most popular one with most of you out there. So you can check out my go on my YouTube channel, look me up on YouTube as well, and you should be able to watch the replay from today's live stream as well. Or of course, since you're here on LinkedIn, Sharifa, after the stream is done, the replay should be available immediately. So you should be able to check that out. Sharifa says, thank you so much for the information. I will surely contact you. Awesome. Sounds good, Sharifa. Tamir says, any senior application support roles? I have 15 plus years of experience. Not at the moment, Tamir, although that is an area I do somewhat frequently recruit in. So definitely keep in touch. I'm not sure, Tamir, like, are you here in Canada? Like, let me know. If you are in here in Canada, definitely send me a direct message. I'm happy to see if there's any way I can assist you at some point in the future, right? Folks, I'm always looking to build relationships with the tech professionals out there, right? Maybe I can't help you right now, but I'm always thinking long term, right? Maybe I can help you some point in the future, right? Maybe not right now, maybe a few weeks from now, maybe a few months from now, maybe a few years from now, maybe a few decades from now, I should be able to help you, right? Who knows? So Tamir, let me know about that. And let's see here. We got another question here. Uh, okay, so Abhishek. So shout out to Abhishek. Thanks so much for your question, Abhishek. So Abhishek says, "Hi, I'm looking for IT project manager roles. I'm having 8 years in project management experience, and I'm new to Canada. I've been getting calls from IT recruiters, but not getting the interview schedule. Can you suggest or help in this regards?" Okay, so Abhishek. So just to summarize Abhishek's situation for the rest of you folks, all right, right? Because some of you folks I know might be experiencing this as well. So Abhishek's, he's put out the resume, he's put out the job applications, he's getting the phone calls from the IT recruiters, but for some reason, Abhishek's not able to get beyond the interview, the initial phone call to the interview stage. So what's happening? So here's a couple of observations first and foremost, Abhishek, that you have to pay attention to. And by the way, not just Abhishek, everyone else out there, right? And by the way, if you're experiencing this situation, you better be taking notes, folks, all right? Because I'm going to be sharing some advice that's going to help you folks figure this out. First thing, Abhishek, is obviously you're doing something right in regards to your applications and your resume, okay? So let's first talk about what you're doing right. What you're doing right, Abhishek, keep doing whatever it is you're doing to get the phone calls. Okay, some of you make the mistake, you're not getting interviews and you change stuff on your applications and your resumes and blah blah, and then you mess everything up. Number one piece of advice in regards to anyone in this situation is, do not change what is working. Do not change, folks. Okay, Abhishek, everyone else out there who's experiencing this, do not change what is getting you results in that particular part of the process. So for you, Abhishek, obviously you're getting the phone calls, so that means you're doing something right on your resume, your job applications, some whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it. Or if not, if anything, keep doing more of it, because at least it's getting you phone calls, right? Now the only part of your process we need to examine is that part between, you're getting the phone call but it's not converting into interviews. Now what this tells me is something is happening, Abhishek, on the phone call with the recruiter, on the phone call with the IT recruiter. Something is happening which is preventing them from seeing you as an ideal candidate that they want to move forward to the interview stage, right? That is the issue that you want to focus on. Okay, so again, just to make sure you folks understand, anything up to the application stage, do not change, right? Keep doing more of it, Abhishek, because you're getting phone calls. That's a good thing. Keep getting more phone calls. What you need to examine, Abhishek, is what's happening on the conversation. Because whatever it may, and it could be so many things. Like, I can't tell you what it is, Abhishek, right? Maybe it's the way you're communicating. Maybe it's the projects you're talking about. Maybe it's, I don't know, something you're not emphasizing. Maybe you mentioned something on the resume, the recruiter calls you, they ask you about it, you're like, oh, I don't have experience with that, but I did study that in my education or something. I don't know. It could be a whole bunch of stuff, right? So Abhishek, what you want to do is, I want you to take out a sheet of paper after every single conversation with the recruiters, even if you can remember the ones you have had with recruiters so far. I want you to write down your observations. What is happening in the conversation? Are they asking me anything that I cannot respond to? Is there anything they're asking that I do not have practical experience with? Is there something I'm mentioning on the resume that I only have academic knowledge of, but I don't have actual practical experience with? Right. So it can be a whole bunch of stuff, Abhishek, right? So, but you need to write down these observations and figure out what is happening on the phone call that's preventing me from moving forward. Right, folks, so hope that helps, Abhishek. So folks, you got to be able to take an objective look at this. You got to be able to take a step back, disconnect yourself from your preconceived notions and emotions and all that stuff, and take a logical look at, hey, what is happening on this phone call that is preventing me from moving on to the interview stage? Because obviously you're getting the phone calls from the recruiters, but they're not converting into interviews. So that tells us something must be happening at the interview, on that phone call. So you got to write down those observations, right? And frankly, folks, it could simply be due to, something as simple as your telephone etiquette. Are you interrupting people constantly? Are you interrupting people? Are you constantly interrupting the recruiter? Are you cutting them off? Are you being a little, are you sounding a little arrogant or impolite or rude, right? They're not going to tell you that, right? They're not going to tell you that. And maybe you're not arrogant, impolite, or rude. Maybe it's just your personality. Maybe you have a type A, aggressive, assertive personality, right? But for them, it's like, They don't know that. They don't know you're a nice person who simply happens to be assertive. You come across as, being rude or impolite, or you're cutting them off and stuff like that. But they're not going to tell you that, right? Because they don't want that drama. They're not going to tell you that. They're just going to say, oh, yeah, well, I have some more candidates to speak to, and, I'll be back with you. I'll get back to you shortly. Or they're going to say, well, appreciate your time. Let me get back to you shortly, and blah, 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 whatever. They're going to give you some excuse, right? So you got to look at things very, very logically, folks. You got to be able to take a third person's kind of viewpoint as to what might be happening, right? So just a suggestion there for everyone else out there as well. Safian says, great, thank you. Hey, no worries, Safian. And let's see here, more questions. Okay, so Minu says, hi, I'm looking for entry-level QA automation role in Toronto area. I have 1.4 years of experience in testing, but then a big gap of around 10 years. But I'm working as an unpaid volunteer in a company for the last 1 year. I'm applying for jobs, but not getting any calls. Okay, so Mina, in your situation, I would suggest the same advice I gave to someone. I can't remember who it was. I gave this advice to before. Who was it? I think it was Somya. Yeah, Somya asked me the same. I think Somya asked me a similar question. Mina, make sure that your networking efforts, your communication, your messages are directly with hiring managers. All right. So maybe for the most part, external recruiters such as myself, we do look for people who have a total of at least intermediate level experience. So it sounds like, well, I guess it sounds like you might have close to an intermediate level of experience, but the 10-year gap is a big one. So I would suggest, Mina, connect directly with potential hiring managers, and also make sure you're able to leverage your current volunteer experience. And also the other thing is, I gave this advice to someone else earlier on as well. See if you can build your own portfolio of sample work as well, right? That shows your capabilities and what you're able to do. And also consider any certifications, boot camps, any training you can take, Minu, that shows you're someone very capable. Someone very capable and able of uh, you know uh, uh, performing in the role of a QA. And the other thing is, make sure that you're applying for the right type of positions, Mino, because I guess you would still be considered a junior level QA. So make sure you're not applying for like intermediate level or senior level QA positions. That's another thing, folks, right? If you're not getting responses, you got to make sure you're applying to the right types of roles. Because if you're applying to a whole bunch of roles and you don't have the required years of experience, total years of experience for the role, you're probably not going to get any responses, right? So Minu, make sure you're applying to the right types of roles as well. All right. So hope that helps, and hope that advice helps. If it was helpful, let me know. If you need further clarification, let me know in the comments as well. Shima says, thank you very much for your response. No worries, Shima. We got another question here, I believe. Let's see. Is this a question or a comment? Let me see. So we got Akin Loye, who says, hi, Dean. So first of all, shout out to Akin Loye. Thanks so much for tuning in. Akin Loye says, hi, Dean. Thank you for this amazing session. You're welcome. I have 3+ years experience in commercial banking. However, currently doing a postgraduate program in wireless communications, will be done this month, and going for a cloud computing postgraduate program immediately. I want to ask, what path do you think I should take? Any other tips for me? Thanks again. So I mean, look, those are both very, very good, very, very good fields, Akin Loye, right? I mean, you took a program, post PG program in wireless telecommunications. Obviously, wireless telecommunications is a very hot industry and sector, and also you took cloud computing. I mean, everything's going to the cloud, right? So I would say this comes down to which one you're leaning more towards, Akin Loye, right? I mean, which one are you more interested in? And also definitely do some market research. Like, do some market research and figure out, first of all, what type of positions exist in each of these two different types of areas. What are the types of positions you'd be most interested in? Are you interested in more of a hands-on technical type of position? Are you interested in more so on the business side, the customer service facing side, or customer side? Like, what type of positions within these fields are you most interested in? So I would say do some more research, Akin Loye, figure out what is your interest, and set up some meetings with people who are in these fields, right? Maybe some potential mentors, right? And just be upfront, let them know, hey, look, I'm considering a career in wireless telecommunications. If you're approaching people in that field, and be like, look, I just wanted to know more about what it's like, what are the opportunities in this field, that kind of thing. And same thing with on the cloud side as well, right? Figure out some individuals on the cloud side. So what you want to, sorry, hold on. Someone's messaging me on WhatsApp and it's just really distracting. I'm just going to close WhatsApp. So what you want to figure out, folks, is gather more research, have more conversations with people in the field, so you can figure out which one would make more sense for you, right? So Kinloy, I would say that you're probably at the research stage. Like you gotta be able to do your research and figure out which one is more aligned with where you want to take your career and your career path, because it's a tough one, right? I would say that telecommunications period, as well as cloud computing. I mean, these are really hot fields. Both of these are really hot fields, especially telecommunications with 5G and whatever the future holds for wireless telecommunications, as well as in cloud, right? So I would say do some more research, figure out who you can speak to who are already in these fields where you can get more information, and of course research the opportunities out there, right? Uh, research the companies that are in the telecommunications field, as well as the cloud area, and figure out what opportunities exist. That should help you figure out what aspect or what field or what career path really draws you in and interests you the most, right? So hope that helps, Akinloye. That's a great question. We got Peter in the house. Shout out to Peter. Thanks so much for tuning in, Peter. Peter says, "Hi Dean, you said you need to have a clear path and focus on that, but to have a backup plan as a safety net might be advisable as well. What do you think? As some people say that having a backup plan steals the focus and the maximum effort you can make from the main plan." Yeah, I mean, Peter, I would say, look, my personal approach is, if you're gonna go all in on something, I mean, go 100% all in on something, right? But at the same time, yes, of course, you should have a backup plan. Now, the only thing I wanted to warn people about backup plans is make sure it really is a backup plan and it's not something that you're using it as an excuse to not pursue any potential obstacles that you might face, trying to go for the big dream, right? Because I see many people do this, right? They're like, okay, they try a little bit to get into their main plan, their main career choice, but they experience some setbacks and this and that, and then they just immediately automatically fall back on plan B. And you definitely should have a plan B. But all I'm saying is, folks, of course, have a plan B. But if you're gonna go with your plan A, make sure you are putting your 100% effort, right? Don't just come across a few little setbacks and decide, oh, okay, I'm not gonna try anymore. I'm gonna give up on this. I'm gonna go with plan B. If you're gonna go with plan B, folks, make sure you give your 100% to your plan A, right? That's the point I'm trying to make here. So definitely, Peter, I agree with you. You should have a backup plan. You should have a plan B, but make sure you don't go to your backup plan until you 100% exhausted your abilities for going for plan A, because plan A, I'm assuming, is the big dream. That's the big dream, folks. And I don't want any of you folks to have regrets in life, right? Regret is a terrible thing. Go 100%, try your utmost best, so that even when you go for your backup plan or your plan B, you do it with complete confidence, because you're like, you know what? I gave it my best. I gave plan A my best. I gave it my not my 100%. I gave it my 200%. I tried my very best. Didn't work out. No regrets. Now let me consider plan B and let me consider the backup plan right now, right? I mean, that's my perspective, folks, right? But other than that, Peter, yeah, I mean, you should definitely have a backup plan as well. So we got a question from Nibu. So Nibu has a question here. So first of all, shout out to Nibu. Thanks so much for your question and tuning in. So Nibu says, if after an interview, the hiring manager says, let me circle back after 2 to 3 weeks as I have some more profiles, is this a positive or negative sign? For me, interview went well. Should I expect a callback? Okay, so Nibu, from my perspective, and this is my perspective as a recruiter, Nibu. Okay, so I could very well, I mean, I could give you this perspective, and it might be totally, the reality might be totally different, because there's so many different multiple factors, right? But it sounds like this hiring manager might not see you right now as the ideal fit. I'm just being very frank here, because if they did see you as the right fit, Nibu, and if they did see you as a strong, viable candidate, at least for this position, they would not be waiting 2 to 3 weeks to get back to you. Okay. Now the other thing is the sense of urgency. I don't know what the sense of urgency is for this position. Okay, but you haven't really mentioned that, so maybe this is not an urgent hiring need. So maybe the hiring manager does like you, but maybe they're waiting for certain things in the project to get approved, right? Maybe they need approval for the budget, or certain things have to move forward. I don't know, right? So this is what I'm saying. There might be multiple factors, but strictly based on what you have written there, Nibu, it sounds to me like this hiring manager might not see you as an ideal fit right now, at least right now, and that's why they're saying, "Oh, I'm going to get back in 2 to 3 weeks." because they don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that to your face. They don't want to offend you. They might not see you as the ideal candidate right now. So I would say, keep in touch with them, Nibu. I mean, definitely keep in touch. I mean, don't get, upset about that. If you're interested in this company, keep showing that interest. So follow up with the manager. Let them know you're interested. Let them know that you're definitely interested in moving forward. But at the same time, Nibu, I would say do not put your hopes on this one particular position. Keep interviewing, keep attending other interviews, keep job searching, keep putting yourself out there. And again, keep following up, because, hey, maybe they will get back. Maybe they genuinely do have other things they need to deal with, and maybe they will get back. All right. So don't give up on this, but don't give up on the other aspects of your job search. Keep job searching, keep interviewing, and don't put all your hopes on one opportunity. So hope that helps, Nibu. So we got a question here from Jaskaran. So Jaskaran, shout out to Jaskaran. Thanks so much for your question. Jaskaran says, hi, I'm looking for co-op opportunities in IT field as network administrator, and I'm currently pursuing a diploma in network and internet security specialist. Can you please suggest something that can help me in this regard? Well, I mean, for you, Jaskaran, definitely, I would say, if you're looking for co-op opportunities, connect directly with the companies that you want to potentially do your co-ops for, because I'm not sure all companies really advertise when they're looking for co-op students, but you never know. So do some research. Second thing is, make sure you connect with the resources internally at your college or university, right? Maybe they might have special relationships or partnerships with certain companies that might be in need of co-ops, right? So definitely make sure you do that. And the other thing is, what the other thing was, talk about your abilities and your capabilities when you are networking, right? Don't just talk about, oh, I'm looking for co-ops, I'm currently taking this and this course. Okay, that's great. Talk about what you're learning on the course. Talk about what you learned in your diploma. Talk about what you're learning, or what projects you've completed in school, right? Because ultimately, even if it's a co-op, Jaskaran, the company wants to know that you have the ability to apply what you have learned, right? And I talked about this before with someone else, someone else's comment. Like, you want to talk about your capabilities, your ability to apply what you have learned. You want to talk about that, because ultimately that's what they want to know. They want to know, okay, if we get this co-op student on, are they going to be able to do the work? Now, obviously, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to expect you to be some expert or something like that, but they want to know that you can apply what you've learned in school, right? So just make sure you do that. So hope that advice helps, Jaskaran, and I wish you all the best in getting your co-op. Nibu says, thank you so much, Dean, for your viewpoint. Appreciate it. No worries, Nibu. All right, so looks like that's all the questions, folks. So I'm going to end today's segment. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Appreciate everyone, joining in with your questions and your comments. Appreciate that. By the way, for anyone who has commented, I definitely want to hook you up with a copy of my free PDF, how to run recruiters through your resume. This should help you with your conversations with recruiters. So send me a message, just in case, or send me a direct message, just reminding me of that, and I will happily respond with a download of my free PDF, how to run recruiters through your resume. And it includes a script that teaches you and shows you how to run recruiters through your resume logically, in a logical fashion, so you're able to sell them on your value, as well as not confuse them in the process, right? Some of you might be talking about a whole bunch of your projects and mixing things up, and that confuses recruiters, but I want to make sure that you're able to really sell them on your value, right? So you got to run recruiters logically through your resume. So for those of you who have commented, send me a message, and I will respond and send you that as well. So that being said, make sure you mark your calendars, folks. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone, I'm right here to help you folks out in your job search. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and let me know your feedback in the comments as well. Like, if you got great value out of today's segment. And if you're going to be tuning in next week, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone, make sure you let me know if there's any particular topics you want me to cover next time. All right. So look, appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you follow me on all my social channels as well. All my social links right here, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. And I'll see you folks again next week. Everyone have a fantastic week, and I'll see you around next time. Take care, everyone.